Hello guys, welcome to Gusto Reactions once again. Thank you so much for always liking and sharing, subscribing, telling everyone about what we do right here at Gusto TV. I've got Lala back in the building today, and on today's show, Lala is going to be, this could be quite emotional for him because two of his favorite artists are on the table right now, and we are shaking the table today.
That is my favorite artist.
Okay, so
back then, maybe.
Back then,
I won't say they were. They were likable.
Okay. Where were you when Shantizu's Shole dropped?
Shole. This was what, 2000 and what?
13.
I don't remember where I was though. But I definitely didn't catch up on it when it dropped. I think I caught up on it later.
Oh, okay.
You know, so music, in as much as we did the whole thing, but sometimes around that period, I catch up on things maybe a few weeks after.
Yeah. When you heard Shantizu's Shole for the very first time, what was your reaction? As in, were you feeling like, wait, who is this guy? Like, this is a jam.
That period was crazy anyway, because we had
Kukere as well.
We had Iyanya as well.
Kukere, yes.
These two guys, maybe before I even go there, but Shole, and it was an instant hit from listening. Sharp from there. You'd be like, oh, who's this guy? And then it was distinct, and it was nice to have at that period, because there was a lot of talent coming through, and then when you see a new person getting that much attention, and everyone was singing back to back, Shole, Kole, like. It was unique, and it was unique. And
Shantizu followed up with Mama, eh, Mama, and I followed up with Let Me Be a Perfect Gentleman.
That's one of his best songs.
Yeah,
one of his best songs.
Yeah,
the guy was mad talented.
He was actually. He is actually. Okay, he is actually he is actually very, very talented, and of course, oh yeah, baby, that one.
I still remember that video.
Yeah, old school.
Drinking was Guinness and things.
Exactly, and then he came through with that other one as well, with Tiwa Savage, Igi Orombo, right?
Yes, the guy was.
Wasn't form
in these days. Let's say in 2 years ago, like Kiss Daniel form. That was Shantizu, and this guy was bagging awards around that period. He was winning expected. He was getting nominated. He was on top of his game.
Was he ahead of his time?
Perhaps you could say that he was ahead of his time, judging by when he had a drought, and he had he was missing in form, and even in actual like the whole industry, he had issues with his producer,
label boss,
label boss as well, and then. That was where the thing started to go a bit sour, and then maybe because I don't know, maybe there was word on the street that this guy is not appreciative of. It looks like a lot of people don't mess with him like that at the moment. That's what it looks like. Even though that he still drops good songs. Yeah,
we mentioned earlier about a song that was also popping at that time when Shole was on. That one, Kukere by Iyanya.
You know what? There's a certain denominator between these two artists.
Okay, what's that?
I'm asking you, who do you think is?
D-Tunes again.
So it's like these days, D-Tunes is way underrated. Like people don't give him his flowers, but this guy was responsible for
hits.
2 albums in 2 years that were banging devil albums. Iyanya's album in was it 2012? Shantizu in 2013, or maybe 13 and 12, 13 and 14 rather. So D-Tunes was at the peak. Was at the peak. To think that these guys made their appearance onto the scene with a production of D-Tunes. And D-Tunes responsible for majority of Iyanya's earlier singles.
You know how massive D-Tunes was at that time. You have Shantizu with Shole, Mama, you have him with Perfect Gentleman. You have Iyanya with Kukere Flavor. Baby, this your booty, and then you have Your Waist. Your Waist is arguably one of the biggest Iyanya songs. That song really massive. The tunes as well was on that particular one.
Right, this one was crazy. That one 2013, 14, 15. This one was really another level.
Yes,
and it's no surprise that I don't want to say D-Tunes is the problem, but these guys, maybe they try to mess D-Tunes over, they leave D-Tunes and things like that.
Yeah.
And then things don't go as smooth as they should for them anymore. I don't know if that's the case, but I mean, if they are stuck with D-Tunes at that part, I mean, they were a pair that were, especially Shantizu
and D-Tunes, yeah.
They were a pair that were they're doing big things.
Match, it was like a match made in heaven.
Yes, and imagine they are stuck together. I mean, it would have, the industry would have been their starting point. They would have had more, I mean, they messed up. I don't want to put a blame on one person, but the fact that they couldn't reconcile and do things together for the betterment of both of them.
Funny thing is, since 2015, 2016, for the past 4 years right now, Iyanya, as an artist, moved to Maven Records. You know, it was all the whole PR publicity thing at that time. You know, he left Ubi Franklin actually. He get Triple MG, cut his shares. You know, was like, it was a very bitter, you know, split between the both of them. He went to Don Jazzy through the Temple. From the Don Jazzy, he went to Temple. There was a whole lot of, you know, basketballs here and there.
What happened with Iyanya is, I mean, his partner at the Ubi Franklin, and we know the public fight they had, and when they called each other out and said this and that, Iyanya accusing Ubi of stealing from him, Ubi going on radio show, bringing out received that, blah blah blah, and things like that. At the end of the day, the whole thing was just messy. We didn't know who to believe, but then it did look like Iyanya was being left out, especially when the company was being created. He wasn't there as a shareholder, and he's a major stakeholder because his music is the one making the money. Although the other guys are important in the administrative role, but his music was making the money, and he wasn't a shareholder of Triple MG, which was a word of mouth agreement. So that issue perhaps affected him. It seems to be like an emotional person who can't take things like that. He takes them to heart. So I think that affected his career and his effectiveness in how he can drop songs and everything. Even till date, he tried to make a comeback into music recently at the start of the year, dropped an EP, dropped a single, and then again just went quiet. So I think the motivation for him right now is not actually there for him to make music. That's what I think it is. But even if these guys are mad talented, like it's just too quiet to be an artist that for us to even look forward to and say, oh, this guy's gonna drop something very soon. The interest is not there for him at the moment. And
I think Shantizu too has the same problem.
Shantizu doesn't have entirely the same problem. Shantizu, on the other hand, after a brief break, came back, started dropping songs, but it just seems people in the industry just don't mess with Shantizu. I don't know why. I mean, he has had at least 3 or 4 releases this year alone. And if you listen to those songs, they're not just your average songs. They're really good songs that if he had dropped around that period when he was running 2014, they will blow up. Shantizu, he still got it, but it's just people just, I don't know whether people have moved on or maybe you don't audition.
Do you think it's the fans moving on from him, or like you said earlier, the industry guys just not messing with him?
Fans moving up. I think it might be a combination of both slightly. Combination of both slightly. Because yes, a lot of people still, when they hear Shantizu, they don't rush to go and say, oh, let me go and listen to it. They don't do that. So that's one. And then the industry people, I mean, he doesn't get the support as he should. As someone that is talented, perhaps he's still sticking to his old connect. He needs to do more new connect. And I feel what he needs to do is collaborate more with any of these perhaps new guys who are buzzing. I don't know. It's not like you're using them, but it will make a lot of sense. I think he tried to do that with Davido at one point, but that didn't work out. But he needs to collaborate more. He needs to put himself in conversations more. I think these days when I see him tweet or see his post on Instagram, all I see is just a guy just chilling and doing his thing, just doing his thing. But then the content is really good. Perhaps he needs a label that can push for him. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he's signed to any label right now, but based on his past dealings with the label, I think he's a word on the street. He's troublesome to manage.
Whoa!
That's one of the reasons they had with what's it called?
D-Tunes.
With D-Tunes, that's word on the street. So I don't know.
Now looking at Shantizu and Iyanya, it's been quite a worry for so many people to say, where exactly is Shantizu? And it's surprising because for someone to have dropped 4 singles, 3-4 singles in a year, and you're still asking where is Shantizu? That means there is actually a problem.
It's 2 things, right? Shantizu, maybe he has changed and he's been he was in the news quite a lot around that period. In the news with his skin color, news with things he does on social media, things like that. But these days he keeps to himself. Right? I think that's why artists, when they behave erratically on social media or say some stupid things, sometimes they do it on purpose so they can remain relevant. They just say rubbish, and at least people will know that yes, this guy said like.
Do you think he was unfairly treated at that time?
Around that period? Well, I think times have changed. I think some of the things he was accused of back then, people would just turn a blind eye to it here. I mean, people say he changed his skin color from dark to tone, and he had to go on an interview to say this is how I've been from time. Is the camera blah 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 blah. So yeah, I don't think he was unfair. I think maybe he could have been unfairly treated, but then times have changed. You never can tell. Okay,
for Iyanya as an artist, we also know that he's quite talented with the music.
Yeah.
Now, Iyanya and Shantizu, would you say that it's a case of using 2013-2014 strategies for 2020?
Well, Iyanya is not even using 2013-2014 strategy.
He's not using any strategy.
He was using 2013 strategy. Immediately he dropped his single Fever, which was decent, did good numbers. Immediately he dropped it. He should be planning another single. He should be, but he didn't. It's been what, 6-7 months that Iyanya has dropped the single. He dropped the single alongside the video. So what next? Are you just going to drop that at the end of the year? He hasn't done. He's not taking the music seriously. That's what it is. Unlike I won't even say that's even a guarantee for him. We now have a Shantizu who is dropping song on his steady,
and he's still not getting
the attention.
So the case here is there are questions being asked everywhere, even on social media. Iyanya, talented artist who is also quite relaxed about the music right now. Shantizu, who is also keeping to himself but still dropping the songs. Can these guys ever make that comeback?
Can they ever?
Case in point, when the Cole has tried to,
and it was almost there now.
And it was almost there with a gain, but right now is.
So that what the defining factor is having a song like again, and pushing that song well. Waneko had a gain, and well, to the best of his abilities, if he did push that song, even if the video they dropped for that song was total crap, not needed, but he still made an effort. So they need a song in the caliber of Again. I mean, the day Again dropped out, the week Again drops, you see OAPs. You won't look like it's paid, but the song is of high quality. You see a lot of OAPs. Oh my God, this jam
it's a jam.
It's a mad jam. So you need
one of Spotify's top songs for 2020.
Yes, released from Nigeria. So you need what's it called? It's even my own most played song on Apple Music my Apple Music play. So you need a song of that caliber, one, and then you also need to push. You can't just rely on your pedigree and say, "Oh, it's me now." They will listen.
Do you believe they can come back?
I believe they can come back, but they have to do two things.
Okay.
First thing is, they need a major investor who is not going to care about reaping rewards. And the only person that does that in this Nigeria is Davido. But I wouldn't advise them to go and sign with Davido or anything like that. They're too big an artist to sign on Davido's label.
You think so?
Yes.
Davido can sign up Iyanya or Shantizu?
Nah, they're too big.
How are they too big?
They're too big for that label.
Brother, there's always a saying that if you know you need help, you don't consider. Yes, when they were blowing up, Davido was upcoming at that time.
Yes.
So does it mean that, Davido signed a Mehdi or got a partnership with Mehdi? Mehdi already had, Ileijo at the time Davido was also upcoming. So,
Mehdi did not fulfill his potential. This was fulfilled the potential at least 1 point. Mehdi did not win all these awards that this one's won now.
True.
Mehdi was still doing backup and things for P Square.
True.
So yeah.
So you said an investor,
an investor, and also take the music. I mean, for Iyanya, take the music seriously, and an investor.
For Shantizu,
I think the major thing he needs is a major label. He's getting a major label that is ready to give him resources to push music. I can imagine some of his latest songs being pushed like mightily across radio stations, across TV stations, the videos, getting influencers, all these things. You see, it's not ordinary when you see a lot of influencers dance or do skits to songs. Some of these guys are getting paid behind the scenes.
Not some of them, all of them actually get paid.
They are getting paid behind the scenes. If you guys don't know. So, and all these things play a part because these guys have thousands of followers. So imagine you have at least 20 influencers doing dances to your to your song, or that's different demographic you've already reached on that song.
That's
and people are now doing challenges.
That's some money though.
Challenge. Of course, it's some money. It's investment. Obviously, you're not going to recoup it. The people who are able to do it are the big guns, the big labels, who know that my own is to just have it. I don't really care if I make the money back, but I just want the hit. They know that they'll make their money back in terms of shows,
endorsements, and everything.
But in terms of digital, they don't care about. They just want the song to be everywhere, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and it's something that people do a lot these days. If they have the cash to do it, you're on your own.
You're your own. All right, guys, thank you so much. I mean, it's been quite for me. It's been an emotional one. Shantizu and of course Iyanya, these two guys actually had like a run for about 2-3 years, and it was really it was a run for real. Shout out to D-Tunes on that particular one as well. This guy, massive respect, was one of the major catalysts for Iyanya's career and of course Shantizu's career as well. We can never forget Shole. We can never forget Kokere. As in, those two singles were major from Shantizu and of course Iyanya. But of course, what's been happening to them past couple of years, what has happened to them in 2020, some, for one, he's dropped 3-4 singles, nothing to show for it right now. I mean, he's not been getting the major accolades. For Iyanya, Fever dropped, and of course we've not heard anything after that time. What exactly can Iyanya and Shantizu do to come back to that rightful place that they belong to, that their talent deserves actually? What do they need to do? Lala said, an investor, and of course they need to push the music and really push well. They need to get a song like again and again for them to remain relevant. Once again, guys, we'd love to hear from you. What do you think? Let's hear from every one of you, our fans, the Coastal Army. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one. Please keep liking and subscribing, sharing and telling your friends. We love you, and we'll see you in a jiffy. Peace.
Bye bye.